It's news time. Information is power. Be current. The news headline. Breaking. Former Nigerian senator who proposed third term for Obasanjo dies at 83. Former Nigerian senator who proposed a third term for Obasanjo, Senator Usia Ihunlawo, who represented the Ondo South Senatorial District of Ondo State in the Senate for 8 years between 2003 and 2011, is dead. Ihunlawo was the Nigerian senator who actually said that the former president would actually be going again for the third term, and Honorable Oladapo Ihunlawo, born on 2nd of August 1938, was elected senator for the Ondo State constituency of Ondo State, assuming office on May 29, 2003, and was re-elected in 2007, being a member of the People's Democratic Party. Elizabeth Ayonba has yet been announced of when they would actually bury her according to the Christian Dom rites, especially in the Cross River State of Nigeria. It was alleged that the authorities denied her the benefit due because she decided to remain in PDP and not, cross over to APC like Governor Ben Ayade of Rivers State. And Ayonba is said to have negotiated her way for 2 terms in office, despite not being the preferred candidate of the party chieftains, who wanted a male loyalist to actually be the one to hold that particular position. However, because she championed the Disability Commission and was seen as a no-nonsense and top politician, that was why she refused to defect, like Governor Ben Ayade last May 2021 to the APC party. Former South Korean President Roh Tae-woo has died aged 88. His death occurred on Tuesday, where the late Asian leader was best known for participating in a 1979 coup before proceeding to win the presidency in a landmark democratic election. However, he ended his stormy political career in jail. According to Seoul National University Hospital, Roh passed away while being treated for an undisclosed illness. Roh, who traveled South Korea as president from 1988 to 1993, was known to have battled many health challenges, including cerebellar atrophy for years. Roh was the son of a poor farmer in Salon County, and during his early years, his family resided near the southeastern city of Taegu. R.I.P. to Roh. Also, we talk about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Justice Binta Nyako, who had recently adjourned his case to November 10, 2021. Binta Nyako, the trial judge, which was the case which was adjourned till November 10 after October 24, 2021, where 7 fresh charges were set against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, of which he actually pleaded guilty. Justice Nyako subsequently revoked his bail for ditching his trial and ordered his trial to be separated from the rest of the co-defendants. While the trial of the rest of the defendants had made some progress, Kanu has been stalled since 2017. On June 29, 2021, the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, announced that Kanu had been rearrested and brought back to Nigeria to continue facing his trial. He said that the IPOB leader was intercepted and did not give details before it was later discovered that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was actually extradited from Kenya back to Nigeria, of which the Kenyan government has also denied being involved in such an extraordinary rendition, which is actually against the international law whenever you want to do anything related to such. And to humiliate the IPOB leader, although we quite understand the pains and adverse effects of this opinion on our people. However, we are compelled to achieve a better purpose in the collective interest of all Biafrans. We have taken time to analyze what transpired on October 21st, 2021, which was the day that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was tried before it was adjourned to November 10, 2021. Therefore, when our leader was arraigned in court and discovered the federal government is not sincere and only wants to humiliate him and continue to keep him perpetually in DSS custody so that he can rot there. The statement continued. We saw how lawyers, journalists, families and supporters of Nnamdi Kanu were denied access into the court premises by security agents who kept them outside under the scorching heat of the sun. What a humiliation and wickedness. We cannot accept that anymore. We can never allow our leader, Onyedu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to be tried secretly, and we can never allow him to be tried under Sharia law. Under any disguise, Nigeria must follow international laws in handling our leader. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in DSS dungeon today because of his passion for Biafra independence, and we must sacrifice all we can to ensure that he regains his freedom. He has sacrificed so much for us, so we must all be prepared to sacrifice little for him. Unless the federal government releases him unconditionally on or before November 4th, we shall sacrifice 1 week for him as a warning protest to convey to our oppressors that Nnamdi Kanu represents over 70 million Biafrans. He is innocent of all the charges preferred against him. As long as he is in detention, our individual businesses do not matter so much because he is suffering for us all and we cannot abandon him. We seriously regret the inconveniences this may cause, yet it is necessary and needed to make until our full independence is achieved. Nobody resident in Biafra land is expected to flout this directive, as doing so amounts to challenging the will of the people on the Biafra project. This 1 week sit at home is to also let our oppressors understand that we are not going to tolerate any plan to torment or abandon our leader in DSS custody through frivolous court adjournment. Any plans to subject him to trauma in detention through long adjournment while real terrorists and mass murderers are having fun across the country cannot fly. Nnamdi Kanu must be freed because he committed no crime. Asking for a referendum so that Biafrans will decide whether or not they want to continue as part of Nigeria is no crime. Thanks for listening. That is the news.